a lot of bad things about taking a cruise to Santorini, so in this vlog, I'm going to tell you what I did to make sure that we had an amazing day. We woke up early and first order of business was to grab some breakfast from the Windjammer Buffet. The port of Santorini is a beautiful place. It is a very popular cruise port in Europe. You will see amazing photos online about Santorini, but you will also hear some horror stories. We purchased the key with Royal Caribbean. The key gives you access to be on the earliest tenders to the port of Old Town, as well as some other perks. You also do get this perk if you book a suite. Another option is to book an excursion. You will be on the very first tenders off the ship, and most organized excursions will take you to the Athenos ferry port, which is further away from Thira, but accessible by bus. Tenders are basically ferry boats or water taxis that are going to transport you from the ship to the shore. There is only 2 ways to get to Thira from the old port. You can climb the 588 steps on the old Caravallades stairs, or ride the cable car, which is €6 for adults and €3 for children. The key provided us with free cable car tickets, which was nice, and saved us €24 just for one ride up. The cable car ride was very quick, about 4 minutes, and immediately you get the most amazing views of this gorgeous island from Thira. It is important to check the port schedule to see how many ships are going to be in each port before you're visiting prior to even booking your cruise. This is especially true in a small place like Santorini, which has a population of only 15,000 people. On a busy port day, there can be as many as 6 ships. That could be 15 to 20,000 additional people. Since we were some of the first people to arrive in port, our plan for the day was to get to Ia, to explore and take pictures of the blue dome churches before it got too busy. We got a little lost again in the maze of walkways in Thira, but we did see some lovely places. We finally found the road and caught a cab over to Ia, which was about a 10-minute drive. There are other ways to get to Ia. You can also take a water taxi, book a tour or an excursion, or there is a hiking trail from Thira. I forgot to mention, according to the port schedule, we were going to be the only ship there that day. There ended up being another small ship there with less than 1,000 passengers. So this would still be considered a very, very slow port day. Once we arrived in Ia, I felt completely underdressed. Most of the women in Ia were wearing dresses of royal blue, white, or blue and white with patterns. We also saw many in wedding attire. The photographers were busy this morning taking photos in this once-in-a-lifetime place. There are some amazing photographic opportunities here. Even though we got there early, we still waited in line quite some time to get our photographs at the famous spots. However, we did meet a couple who was there visiting, but not from the cruise, and enjoyed the conversation while we waited in line. We loved walking the pathways and exploring here. Everything is just so clean and bright. And the famous blue rooftops, of course, were absolutely stunning. There is also many resorts here that look really amazing to stay in. Restrooms did cost euro unless you were eating or drinking in a bar. We spent a lot of time walking around. We grabbed some beers from the local brewery, but I would say the best part was just exploring all the little walkways everywhere. This place is unlike any other, and the amount of care that people put into it is obvious. I felt like everything was so clean and freshly painted, and the vegetation was very well cared for. Watch your step, though, because there is donkey waste on the streets, especially on those 588 steps going up to Thira. Of course, one of us did manage to step in it while in Ia. I'm not going to say who. Next, we headed over to the beautiful windmills. There used to be around 70 windmills on Santorini, and now only a couple of them are left and they are being preserved. Then we found the Ia Lookout Panoramic Viewpoint. This is close to the Ia Castle. The views here are absolutely majestic. Don't forget to watch your step. We decided we were done visiting Ia and wanted to find the bus station. I believe the bus costed us about €3 to head back to Thira, but they do not take cards, so you must have cash. Don't forget, if you book an excursion, you will be going to the port of Athenos, so you will not get to see Thira like the rest of the passengers of the cruise ship. If your excursion doesn't include Thira or Ia, you may want to plan on going to one of these after your excursion, or I would just make sure it is part of your excursion. If we ever return, I would like to go south and see the lighthouse. Fun fact, Santorini was named by the Latin Empire in the 13th century, but the official name is Thira or Thera, which was the name of the leader of the Spartans who colonized and gave his name to the island. The name was revived in the 19th century as the official name of the island and its main city, but the island name of Santorini is still in popular use. Chip and Bryce wanted to take the donkey ride down, which was only €15 per person. I wanted to get a video going down on the cable car. However, when I arrived, the line for the cable car was very long. I figured there wouldn't be much of a line since it was only 2 p.m. I was wrong. However, according to online sources and what I've seen in other videos, that is actually a short line. Some people wait in line for hours on a busy port day, and many do have to resort to taking these steps down. This can be really bad when there's over 10,000 people in port. We only had 5,000 people in port this day. Cable cars only hold 6 people per unit. Once I got there, I was back down to Old Port really quickly and hopped on the next tender back to ship. The funny part is, the next thing I knew, Chip and Bryce hopped on as well, and they were on the same tender back as I was. Once we boarded the ship, we grabbed some lunch at the Windjammer Buffet. It was really good. We were starving. We went live on TikTok for a little while and we toured the ship. When you have the key, you also get designated times to do certain activities. So today we had the key ice skating. We basically had the whole entire ice rink to ourselves because no one else came. I was also reunited with one of the ice skaters who was on the Navigator of the Sea ship we were on. When you cruise a lot, you will reunite with crew members from other ships you've sailed on, which is really awesome. After that, we had some dinner in the main dining room. Then Chip and I went to the casino for a little while and we headed to bed early. Don't forget to check out our next vlog for day 7. We are going to be visiting Crete, Greece, and there is going to be an 80s party on the ship as well as a comedy show. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching.